Good morning, everyone. Miss Neeson here. I'm going to be talking us through our next revision technique today. Start off with a reminder of our 4 core revision techniques that we are reviewing. We've already looked at flashcards and self-quizzing, and today we're going to be looking at mind maps in a little bit more detail and how to use them effectively. And a reminder that obviously you can access all of this on the website via our student revision guide, where you can also find your exam timetable and some wellbeing support as well. So, like I say, we are going to be looking at mind maps in a bit more detail today. Mind maps is one of those things that I think is quite a common revision technique. But it's often one that people use ineffectively, so we're going to look at an effective way of using that today. Okay, so unsurprisingly, my presentation is going to be centered around science, but this is an example of an effective mind map. So in terms of how you make it or how you construct it, first step is you need to have a kind of central theme for your mind map, whether that be, for example, for science you might have chemistry paper 1 in the middle, or it might be that you want a mind map for each of the different topics so you can break it down into a bit more detail. So you have a theme in the middle of your paper. Then you're going to create some branches that come off of the theme, and they're going to link in some way to the core theme of your mind map. So for example, with this one, we've got science of global warming, and then we've got greenhouse gases is one of the branches. Step 4 is then you're going to add more detail onto it. So with the greenhouse gases branch, they've then branched off with specific examples of greenhouse gases, and then they have then added diagrams to help kind of bring it to life and make it a bit more easy to digest and read. So a really important thing to highlight when making mind maps is an effective mind map versus an ineffective one. So on the screen we've got 2 examples. On the left hand side we've got one that I would describe as effective, and then the other one is ineffective. So we'll talk through the effective one first. So it's clear and concise, nice and neatly laid out and spread out as far as they can on the page. They've also got something called dual coding going on. This is really key for mind maps and for helping you remember information and process information. It's essentially when you have text and also a diagram or a picture that goes with it. It is proven to be a lot more effective for memorising information when you have a diagram there to prompt you. They have links between their ideas, so obviously it's a bit small on your screen I'm assuming, but if you look closely you can see that a couple of the arrows are going to numerous boxes because they all link together. And then colour coded, so being colourful and pretty isn't necessarily the most important thing in the world, but it does really make it easier to read and to pick out the key bits. And if you look at that chemistry one, if you wanted to just focus on biolutin, you can clearly find that on there because it's in the pink writing. Versus the ineffective one. Now obviously this person has spent a lot of time on this mind map, and I'm sure they got a lot from the actual process of writing the information down. However, if they were going to use that mind map again, it would be pretty impossible. It is extremely cluttered, so it's absolutely full to the brim of writing. There's no diagrams at all, so there's nothing to kind of help jog your memory or prompt you. It's quite unclear, hard to read, and generally there's no colour coding going on either. So there you have your 2 examples of effective versus ineffective. Last step with a mind map, and I think this is probably the step that people struggle with, is what do you then do after you've made the mind map? So there's a few options that you can do. So the process of actually making the mind map in the first place will allow you to lay out your learning to know what you need to do next. So if we take science again, so if in the middle of your mind map you've got biology paper 2, and you've then got your branches going off, you've then clearly lay out in front of you all of your learning that you need to make sure you've nailed before your exam. So the process of making it is going to be really useful to you. But another thing that you can do after that point is you can place them at strategic points around your house. When I was revising for my GCSEs, I used to have a wall of posters in my bedroom that I used to just have all my bedroom wall was covered in posters, and I'd sit and review them every night, which is sad, I know, but you got to do what you got to do to get those grades. Another option, if you look on the screen at the bottom picture, you've got sticky notes that you can put over the top of your poster, and you can essentially make some quick flashcards. Another example which I thought was quite nice of what to do is you can print copies with blanks in them, and then put them in a plastic wallet, essentially turn it into a whiteboard, and you can kind of use it as a fill in the blanks activity. And then obviously mark it with your master copy that you've made, which has got all the answers on. So there's a few options there. It's now up to you guys. So if you kind of want to go and pick a topic or a subject that you want to do some revision for, and that you think would be good to do a mind map for, and then have a go at producing one.